Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is home to many cultures, languages, and races. Sri Lanka has a documented history of 3,000 years with evidence of prehistoric human settlements dating back 125,000 years. Sri Lanka's oldest Buddhist texts, collectively known as the Pali Canon, date to the Fourth Buddhist Council, held in 29 BC. Also known as the Tear of India, or the Grain of the East, Sri Lanka's geographical location and deep harbors have made it of great strategic importance since the early days of the ancient Silk Road trade route to today's so-called Maritime Silk Road. As its location made it a major trading center, it was already known to both East Asians and Europeans as the Anuradhapura period. During a period of great political turmoil in the Kingdom of Kote, the Portuguese arrived in Sri Lanka and attempted to control the island's maritime trade, leading to a portion of Sri Lanka becoming a Portuguese possession. After the Sinhalese-Portuguese War, the Dutch Empire and the Kingdom of Kandy took control of these territories. The Dutch were then taken over by the British, who later extended their control over the entire island, and colonized it from 1815 to 1948. A national movement for political independence arose in the early 20th century, and in 1948, Ceylon became a monarchy. In 1972, after the Republic of Sri Lanka, the Dominion was established. Sri Lanka's recent history is marked by a 26-year civil war, which began in 1983 and ended in 2009, when the Sri Lankan armed forces defeated the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. Sri Lanka's prehistory dates back 125,000 years and possibly even 500,000 years. This period spans the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and early Iron Ages. Among the Paleolithic human settlements discovered in Sri Lanka is Pahiangala, 37,000 BP, named after the Chinese traveler monk Foxian. Batadambalina, 28,500 BP, and Bellina, 12,000 BP, are the most important. In these caves, archaeologists have found the remains of anatomically modern humans they have named Balingita man, and other evidence suggests they may have been engaged in agriculture and domesticated dogs for driving. The earliest inhabitants of Sri Lanka were probably the ancestors of the Veda people, an indigenous people numbering approximately 2,500 who live in modern-day Sri Lanka. During the proto-historic period, 1000 to 500 BC, Sri Lanka was culturally united with South India, and shared the same megalithic burials, pottery, iron technology, farming techniques, and megalithic graffiti. This cultural complex spread from South India with Dravidian clans such as the Veliars before the migration of Prakrit speakers. The first written reference to the island is found in the Indian epic Ramayana, which details a kingdom called Lanka created by the divine sculptor Vishwakarma for the god of wealth, Kabura. Kabura is said to have been deposed by his Rakshasa half-brother Ravana. According to the Mahavamas, a Pashi chronicle written in the 5th century AD, the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka are called Yeksha and Naga. Ancient burial grounds that were used before 600 BC have also been discovered in Sri Lanka. Sinhalese history traditionally begins in 543 BC with the arrival of Prince Vijaya, a semi-legendary prince who migrated to Sri Lanka with 700 followers after being expelled from the Wangda kingdom, modern Bengal. He founded the kingdom of Tambapani near the modern-day Mannar. Vijaya, Singha, is the first of about 189 kings of Sri Lanka mentioned in the chronicles such as Dipavamsa, Mahabhasa, Kasasa, and Rajavalya. The Anuradhapura period, 377 BC, 1017 AD, began with the establishment of the Anuradhapura kingdom in 380 BC during the reign of Pandukabhaya. Thereafter, Anuradhapura served as the nation's capital for nearly 1,400 years. Ancient Sri Lanka excelled in the construction of specific types of structures such as tanks, dagobas, and palaces. With the arrival of Buddhism from India, a major change took place in the society during the reign of Devanampiyatissa. In 250 BCE, Mahinda, a bhikkhu and son of the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, arrived at Mahantala with a message of Buddhism. His mission won over the king, who embraced the faith and spread it throughout the Sinhalese population. Sri Lanka experienced the first of many foreign invasions during Surtesa's reign, defeated by two horse traders from South India named Sena and Gatka. The next attack was immediately followed in 205 BC by a Chola named Ilara, who overthrew Asala and ruled the country for 44 years. Dutgamunu, the eldest son of the southern regional sub-king Kavantisa, defeated Ilara in the Battle of Vijayathapura. During its 2,500 years of existence, the Sinhala kingdom was attacked at least 8 times by neighboring South Indian dynasties such as the Cholas, Pandyas, and Pallavas. There were also invasions from the kingdoms of Kalinga, modern Odisha, and the Malay Peninsula. Sri Lankan culture is mainly influenced by Buddhism and Hinduism. Sri Lanka is home to 2 main traditional cultures: Sinhalese, centered in Kandy and Anuradhapura, and Tamil, centered in Jaffna. Since then, the Tamils have coexisted with the Sinhalese, and early mixing physically separated the 2 ethnic groups. Ancient Sri Lanka is marked for its genius in hydraulic engineering and architecture. British colonial culture has also influenced the indigenous people. The shared cultural traditions of all the cultures of Sri Lanka are the basis of the country's longevity, high health standards, and high literacy. There are many attractions in Sri Lanka, like blue whales are the largest animals living on Earth, and Murisa is the best place to see blue whales and other whales. National Park. It is the second largest national park of Sri Lanka. Yala is home to Asiatic elephants, leopards, and a variety of beautiful endemic birds. Sigiriya is popular with tourists as the 8th wonder of the world and was one of the oldest landscaped gardens in Asia. If you haven't been Sri Lanka yet, you should definitely make a trip to Sri Lanka. Thank you for your valuable time you have taken for this video.